So I kept a journal I tried to keep a journal every day, but sometimes there wasn't enough time. This is the first time I mentioned, I used to call your father Senor Francisco.
Senor Francisco.
Yeah. We taught Senor Francisco's family, a fantastic family home evening, Estou Animado, I wrote. And that was on August 31st, 1976. And then on the next time I wrote about it was on October, let's see, no, that was August 22nd. This is October 1st. It was time for the Adriano's family's fourth palestra, which is discussion, which is when you challenge them to baptism. Our office work today was principally that of organizing and explaining to the president the upcoming General Mission Conference. We have some pretty good ideas for the activities. A picnic on the hills that overlook the beautiful beach. We had a good aula with Messias. You remember Jurassic?
Yeah,
Messias?
that's right.
And will now start his training for the Melchizedek priesthood. Then this evening came the big one, the fourth palestra and baptismal challenge for the Adriano family. They accepted for the 9th of October. When I asked Senor Francisco if he wanted to accept the invitation which Christ makes to all, he responded, "Sim, aliás, já estou a considerar isto há 2 semanas." Or then I translate, "Yes, as a matter of fact, I've been considering it for a couple of weeks now." You never heard that from an investigator. I never said, "I've been thinking about being baptized," ever. And your father was chosen. Now it is on to the 5th palestra, which is the commandments. I've learned to love this family, and I know they were chosen by the Lord to receive his gospel at this time in their lives. They will be a real force to the church here, a real force. So that was on October 1st. Then the next day, wrote thank you notes for some birthday gifts. I also wrote a semi-Dear John letter to Sister Rodriguez. So when the Brazilian sister missionaries came, there were 4 of them. And they were here for a few months, but the political upheaval got very dangerous. And so the brethren in Salt Lake decided to send the sisters away to Madrid. And it was my responsibility to take them to the train. Well, I told you the story already. My companion, Elder Oliveira, had fallen in love with one of the Brazilian sister missionaries. So I remember the day he went to President Pinniger and asked for permission to propose to the sister missionary he'd never spoken to about his romantic interest. And President Pinniger thought long and hard, and he said, well, he said, Elder Thomas and I will sit outside my office. You can go in with Sister, and I just can't remember her name. Anyway.
It changed.
And it changed, yeah. And so he went into President Pinniger's office, and I can remember sitting there like this with President Pinniger, him sitting there and me sitting there while they were in there for 15 minutes by themselves. This was on the way to the train station to take them out of the country. Elder Oliveira proposed. She accepted. They got to kiss once. She went to Madrid. He continued and finished his mission as my companion. They later got married, have 8 children, and he heads up all the seminaries in São Paulo now.
That's great.
I'm one of the few missionaries I know whose companion proposed to a sister missionary on their mission in front of him.
With the mission president.
With the mission president sitting nearby.
Most mission presidents would send somebody home for that.
Or transfer them far away.
All right. Anyway, so the reason Sister Rodriguez was one of the other 4 sister missionaries. She heard this whole story when she left her mission and got back to Brazil. She started writing me proposal letters.
Oh.
She tried to propose to me to go back to Brazil to marry her. Anyway, so this is me writing her a letter saying, no. Let's see. This afternoon, we took the 4 Adriano kids, Georgie, Cristina, Denise, and Francisco Paulo, to see the great race. It was enjoyable.
I remember that.
It felt good to laugh for a bit. The kids also enjoyed it. I'm fasting today and tomorrow, so during the dinner time, we studied. Then we went over to Evo and Juracies for a lesson. However, a quarrel ensued, and we had to leave. Well, I guess they had a fight. We talked a little about having a good companionship. All in all, I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I believe it taught me a lot about marriage and its success. The next day was Sunday. 237 members in attendance. This is at Rua de Lapa.
Yeah.
That was a record. No é fácil. Although the meeting was so crowded that it was very nerve-wracking. Senior Costa and Senior Reyes did not show up, but the Adriano family was there in full force. I had the privilege of blessing Paulo Jorge, Proença Velosa Reis, de Carvalho, Paulinho, and giving him a name. I also assisted in the naming and blessing of Patricia Velosa. And then down a little further, we went to your house, and then came the biggie, the 5th palestra with the Adriano family. We took Ivo with us as security and to bear his testimony. The 5th palestra discussion is the commandments.
Yeah, tithing.
Never have I been so happy during a palestra about the commandments. They accepted everything. Everything with humility and sincerity. It was unbelievable. Senor Adriano bore his testimony some 10 times. He told us of how some months ago he had quit smoking for health reasons, that lately he had quit drinking also. Dona Odette supported all his decisions, and the 4 kids, well, they could not have been any more enthusiastic than they were. As Ivo bore his testimony, one could feel the whole family pulling at it, trying to get all they could. As I sat there looking at those 4, I couldn't help but think how it will be for them to grow up with the influences of the church and gospel. The Adriano family is very blessed, and they deserve it. But I can't figure out how I can deserve the privilege of having taught them. Then this is the next day. Senior national holiday for Portugal, October 5th, 1976. It could have been a national disaster considering what almost happened. When Ivo invited the Adriano family to play soccer this afternoon, Senor Adriano mentioned a doubt he had with respect to the law of tithing. He wanted to know if it was 1% or 10%. When he was informed by Ivo that it is 10%, he said he could not possibly keep the commandment. When Ivo told us this, I decided it would be best to get over to their apartment as fast as possible and help them understand the situation. He explained his financial situation to me, that he receives a total of 6,300 escudos per month, or some $180. This he must use to pay for his car, home, and food for his 4 children. I forget what your father's occupation was.
He was working in the General Motors.
Yeah. And,
At the time of this,
Yes, he was in the delivering parts of the cars to
okay,
the distributors.
I got it wrong. I thought he was a taxi driver or something.
no. It was a barber.
Okay.
Working barber.
He very regretfully explained that it would be impossible to take out 10% of that to continue to feed his family. I explained that what was important is that they must have the desire and conviction to obey the law, and that they continue to try to obey it. They understood the law and said they would do everything possible to obey it. I felt very relieved, and after what has happened with the Costa family, we were having problems with another family we were teaching, I was super glad that they understood. We all went out to Estoril to play soccer, but Elder Aquino and I returned and got some work done on the conference this month. This Saturday should be a very special day. It was your baptism day. And this was the day, the baptism day. I've been fighting it out within me, but I think I have come to the conclusion now that today was the most joyful day of my entire mission. Several reasons for this, but the main factor is that of watching the miracle of people accepting the gospel and living it. Today the mission got several new records. First, largest baptism to date, 19. Second, largest family to date, 6 Adrianos. 3, first 2 black members. 4, Portuguese confirmou. Ivo did the confirmations. I've never felt so good as when the family entered into the waters of baptism. That family entered into the waters of baptism. Fantastic. They were extremely radiant with joy, and they were all baptized by Portuguese members and Joe and Judd Pinniger. They were the mission president's son. Earlier this morning, I sat in a barber's shop waiting for Irmão Adriano, which must have been a different Adriano, to cut my hair.
No,
Because
it was.
my dad would work in this delivering. In
And
the
then-
end of the day, he would have another job in the
So he
barber
cut
shop.
my hair that day.
Yeah, sure.
And he used to cut your hair in our home. Sometimes the missionaries would go there and he would
I'd
do that
forgotten
for
that. I
missionaries.
forgot that part. He did a fantastic job, and I'm glad I finally found a barber. It's too bad it took so long. The baptism was amazing. It took 3 hours to get them all baptized and confirmed. The president was also very happy. Because when we worked as assistants to the president, we continued to proselyte. Most missions, when you're assistant to the president, you don't proselyte. You're too busy working the mission.
We know. We all have been.
You have been doing that.
Yeah.
We all been assistants to the president,
And Daniel
but
too.
working also.
And Daniel too.
Yeah, I said you.
October 11th, 1976, so this was 2 days later, Monday. We taught the Adriano family about how to hold a family home evening The family is fantastic. Also visited Carlos Reyes, who was baptized on the same day.
Yeah.
It is great having them to have them members of the church. October 14th, we also had the supreme pleasure of teaching the 6th Palestra to the Adriano family. They are amazing, super amazing. And then some more. The branch was divided 3 days later because of so many members at Rua de Lapa, and they made Irmão Branco and Irmão and Carvalho. Julio Branco, branch president. Actually, I think I have just a couple other. October 31st, Sunday. A família Adriano foi exemplo perfeito de uma família mormon. The day before, something else. Adriano family home evening. This was from that picture. November 1st, 1976. This evening I sat quietly with tears in my eyes as I watched the Adriano family holding a family home evening without our help. For a month we visited their home and taught the gospel. Now we sit and watch as they teach us how to apply it.
That's good.
Remember that?
November 11th, President Bangerter came back and dedicated the new mission home. November 13th and 14th, 1976, Sunday. Irmão Adriano and Irmão Lopez receberam o sacerdócio no ramo número 2, que me faz super feliz. Their father received the priesthood on November 13th in the 2nd branch. So this was, I'm trying to see if there's something else. This was the last day of my mission. I was on the plane headed home and trying to just kind of sum up some things. Leaving Portugal is difficult in the sense that I found myself there and I prepared myself for a new, brighter, and better life. I left people I love in a way never known to me before my mission. I leave my past, my teacher, my trainer, and the experiences that have eternally marked my life. Oh, Portugal, I won't forget you. I can't forget you without forgetting me. That was the last sentence in my
That's
in my
great.
journal.
That's great.
Great.
Poetic.
So